Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll podcast. My name is Ryan, and it's just going to be me today. I'm going to be doing a crowdfunding project spotlight. For those that have listened to us for a while, we used to do a Kickstart the Podcast segment where we talk about crowdfunding projects every week. But we stopped doing that. It kind of faded out. A number of reasons. One, we got to a point where we were like trying to save money. Didn't work well. And two, because through the power of analytics, we saw that a lot of people were skipping that. Anyway, so didn't seem entirely helpful for everybody, but it is something that I kind of miss doing. And there are a shitload of projects going on right now across a lot of platforms: Backerkit, itch funding, Kickstarter, obviously. So I figured I'd do a pretty casual episode today and just kind of talk about a bunch of them. Didn't even mean to have this first one up here to start, but I guess this is what we're going to start with. But for those listening in podcast land or on YouTube, this is a little bit more of a casual episode, so I might be talking to chat a little bit more. Those that don't know, we do stream live on Twitch and then turn those videos into our podcast and our YouTube VODs. So if you hear me talking to people on chat, maybe come by and chat sometime when we're live. So might as well start with the one that I had up on the board because I was unprepared. And kicking it off, that is Mythic Bastionland. Before Into the Odd. Pretty much everybody, I mean, everyone that would listen to us knows what Into the Odd is. We love it. Fantastic game. Christian McDowell. The new version had graphic design from Johan Nohr. We reviewed it in here on stream. I don't remember what episode. That's preparation I probably should do, but I don't. So let's talk about it real quick. We're gonna do a mix and match. So chat, remind me if I'm doing too many Kickstarters, remind me to bounce over to Backerkit or Itch or something like that. And if anyone comes into chat and has a project, if I'm still on, I'm happy to go over it. I also have been finding myself saying a lot more, and I'm gonna try to stop doing that. So let's hop into it. And let's do it. So, Mythic Bastionland. Before Into the Odd, rules light role-playing in a dreamlike world of knights and myths, crawl hexes, rule a domain, and remember your oath. Oh yeah, we got that one. That one's in the docket. Let's this is a casual episode. Let's turn a little bit of this on for you guys. Let me know if that's too loud. So let's go through this a little bit. Embark on a quest like no other with Mythic Bastionland, a tabletop RPG set in the imagined past of Into the Odd and Electric Bastionland, built on the same lightning-fast, ultra-streamlined rule system. Again, for those that don't know, Into the Odd is just an extraordinarily slim OSR-style game. A shitload of games out there are built on it. But it's one of those games that, although a lot of games are built on it, people still play it because it's great. I have both. If you see that orange book right there, that's Into the Odd, and right next to it is Electric Bastionland. And looking at the cover here for Mythic Bastionland, my God, the art is absolutely astounding. I cannot wait for it. As far as a Kickstarter page goes, the Kickstarter page looks nice. There's a lot of art. There's a lot of art right off the bat. One of the very first things at the top is a 74-page quick start rules. So you can literally start playing right now. It's got the core rules and everything. That is such a good thing to have in a crowdfunding project. A lot of people feel like you have to like keep it all bottled in and like you somehow can't leak it until the project's over or something. A lot of the really successful projects I find have quick starts or have an ash can out on itch already, and through that build a lot of support because people can see that they already like it and want more. So trying to keep everything under wraps, trying to not put it out there, like trying to give people your game, let people know that they're gonna like it. Like if you're proud of your game, let people play it, and then give them more of what they want. It's like marketing fucking 101. Like, let the people know what they're getting and then give it to them. So Knights in Search of Glory. You begin as a young knight errant, seeking the glory to lead warbands, earn a place in court, and rule your own domain. Glory is found hunting the myths of this world, manifesting them into reality while protecting the realm from their strange influence. Each player is one of 72 knights with personal equipment, a unique ability, and a passion that fuels their spirit. Rules light, flavor heavy. Gotta love that O-U-R. Man, the Brits know how to spell right. If I wasn't so pretentious, if I ever write a game, I would use the O-U-R. But I feel like I'm just not quite pretentious enough. Because I'm not British. Obviously, if you're British, that's just normal for you. So again, fast-paced rules. Clearly, there's a lot of very different rules to this Into the Odd. It's built on Into the Odd. But if you follow Chris McDowell's Substack at all, for months now, they've been dropping updated rules and discussions about rules and rules that didn't work, and how they went back to the drawing board. It's been really, really, really interesting from a design perspective to see all of the work going into it. So highly recommend checking out the Substack. But as far as the Kickstarter page goes, again, really great Kickstarter page. And that's what we're going to talk about as much as anything. A quick preview of the projects, and let's just do a Kickstarter page review too. This is a good one. There's art. One game, one book. That's this whole thing. It's a hardback and a PDF. As far as tiers go, that's literally all there is for tiers, is a PDF or a hardback book. The PDF is £19 or $24, and the print and PDF is £50 or $62, plus shipping in the future, probably getting it at being like $15 ish, maybe a little more, depending on tracking and whatnot. Regardless of the fact that there's so few tiers, no exclusive stuff, no whatever, it is already got 3,410 backers for over $220,000. Which is that's 180,000 euros. So, and it still has 24 days to go. It's only been going for like a week. Really, really, I mean, everyone's excited for this fucking game. There's really not anything to say about this. Everyone has backed this. Very, very excited to talk about this. Inspirations: Prince Valiant, Excalibur, Pendragon, the Green Knight, and Elden Ring. Green Knight and Elden Ring, for me, when I first started reading a lot of this, that's what really, really jumps out at me a lot is Green Knight. And the Green Knight role-playing game from A24 is actually really interesting. There is a video here with an AP on +1 EXP with Tony. I know they had dropped, there's a Questing Beast read through, an Arcane Library read through. Electric Bastionland is available as an add-on. If you don't have Electric Bastionland, it's fantastic. I highly recommend grabbing that. And I know that they dropped the first page before that had other games that they've looked at to inspire them, which are a lot of Into the Odd games. Some really, really good stuff on that. I know one of the top ones was Kingdoms from Sophia Tinney, which we have talked about here a lot on the show, which we have retconned to be the only game that's ever gotten a 10 for rules here on the show. So that is cool to see. And I'm trying to see where I had saved that so I could go over some of the other ones, because there's some really fantastic names and some really fantastic games that have been discussed. Let's see what else we got here. Cairn, obviously, from Yohagal. Kingdoms from Sophia Tinney. Mouse Ritter from Isaac Williams. Neverland from Andrew Kolb. Pendragon from Greg Stafford. Prince Valiant, obviously, and then Runecan from Colin Lasore. List of really, really, really fantastic games. So for a creator to inspire people to make games and then be re-inspired by those games to add stuff to a future version of their game, it's really cool, really fantastic to see. And that is Mythic Bastionland. What's the next one we got here? Let's hop over to an itch funding project that's kind of going off the fucking rails right now. So this is Celestial Bodies, Technical Handbook. This is from, I know it's Charlotte, but the name on here is Selkie. Yep. And there it is. Basiliska on Twitter. Charlotte Leskowski and Binary Star Games. This, I honestly, and I'm probably wrong, because I haven't been looking at itch funding as much as I've seen other itch funding projects, but this went on itch funding, I think, less than a week ago. And the original, I think, goal was maybe $1,000 or $2,000. It's at over $7,000 in like a week on itch funding. That's more than most projects on Kickstarter do. And this is basically just an ashcan. This is a technical handbook. It is I'm sure it's most of the game, but there's a lot more to be done. And there's some tiers even within this for adding more stuff in. So people could do different things like adding in chassis. Let's get to the actual game and then we'll talk about that a little bit more. But it's just insane that an itch funding project in less than a week has raised over $7,000. Projects like this give hope that people can eventually break away from the monopoly on Kickstarter, since it is kind of becoming more of a pre-order storefront for bigger game companies than it is for helping small projects get funded, or at least. And that has its own problems with the trickle-down effect on people expecting one person to have the same distribution capabilities and funding or capabilities as, something like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game or whatever. So this is Adrift Among the Bodies of the Dead. For a generation after the calamity, the infinite dark between the stars felt cramped, crowded by refugees on ships meant for fewer people and shorter trips. In the second generation, those who survived in their home ships now cannibalized the metal skeletons of the less fortunate ships. The third generation did not expand their ships. They expanded their mecha and their operations. They fled to farther stars, populations in space stations and on surfaces booming as quickly as lives were lost in the petty disputes. The fourth generation discovered the Titans. No probe has yet reached these dead gods whose frozen bodies span hundreds of miles across, and you are the fifth generation. Basically, this is a mech game, but I think what really gets people about this game and why they backed it is, one, it's super clean, and the art is stunning. If we pop this up here, this page looks fantastic. It's very light. It's not very dense per page at all, but the grid style mech art, or like this kind of like pixel style mech art, is really, really beautiful. And it's just throughout the game. But also, if you look at this character sheet here, what I brought up is the light frame. There's just some really, really fun, interesting mechanics about this game that I think really pulled a lot of people in. The primary thing is the grid. So every frame gets a grid, which is a number of squares in a grid. I don't know how to explain grids to you, but basically each one gets a different number of grids, and then you can fill it with a different number of things. So for example, on here it has this is a 2x6 grid. So one of them two have thrusters, one has a reactor, one has a processor, and then across 4 is a blade, so that's a weapon, and across 3 is a shotgun. So it has thrusters, a reactor, a processor, a shotgun, and a blade, and that's it. That's all it has. But what's really interesting about that is when you actually build your mechs, there's this very simple but deep system where everything that uses something in that grid has to be next to that grid. So for example, the reactor, your thrusters have to be attached to your reactor because the reactor powers the thruster. So you can't just stick it anywhere on the grid, right? So same thing with processors and things like that. Anything that would use the processor has to be adjacent to the processor. So you can see there's these little arrows that show reactors to the thrusters, and then the reactor powering the processor, and the processor powering the blade and the shotgun, right? So shields have to be on there as well. But this is also your HP system, which is such a fun way to do it as well. I don't think it's here. It might have been in a different section, but just bringing up this grid thing again. So basically, as far as HP goes, you take that grid that you built your whole system on, and then you stick it on a 6x6 grid. And then when bad guys try to hit you, they roll a d66, so 6 across and 6 down. And if it lands outside of your grid, it misses. But if it lands inside your grid, that part of your grid is damaged. And if you damage everything, you're done. And if you damage important parts, you can't use them anymore. So if you have everything attached to your processor, if the processor goes, you can't use, or it's no longer helping the things that's attached to it. So it's just, it seems extremely simple, but very deep system where you use this grid to build out your entire mech and everything that you can do with it. I've already downloaded this version of it. It's $20. It's really, honestly fantastic. This is called the Terrestrial Edition, or the technical handbook. It's already been getting some updates. And as far as itch funding goes, there are a lot of things that tiers within it that you can do. So at the highest levels, which I can only imagine most of those are gone now. No, there's still some going. You can even the Titanic Commander is gone. So the things you could have got, and this will explain all of it. You could have done adding a new weapon, adding a new faction, adding a new Titan frame. All of those are in the different tiers, and you can still get all the way up to there's a Cosmic Explorer tier at $100, where you can work with the team to design a faction and a weapon. That's still available. 17 left of those. And then at the lower tiers, you can build a faction, or you can do a weapon. You can get just the PDF of the game. You can get the PDF and add community copies. I mean, this thing sold so many. Basically, every time that someone buy funds, they put more community copies in. There's still like 75 on there. So if you don't have $20, you can snag a community copy. If you do, give them $20. Let's see how far we can go with the $7,000. And I can't imagine how far this will go if it hits Kickstarter in the future as like an actual printed book. This kind of blew everybody away, just how well it's done. And I again, Kickstarter is Kickstarter. I almost wish this had, so, you know, with all of its faults and things, I almost wish this had gone to Kickstarter first. But it's hard when there's a new creator, or newer, not, I don't even think they're a newer creator, but just someone who might be like tentative about how much time they have right now to do it, or how much funding that they could possibly get. So they, you know, start to itch fund just to see if there's interest. And then I can't imagine that the creator thought it would blow up this much. I honestly can't. And I'm really excited that it did, and I can't wait to see where this goes in the future. So Celestial Bodies on itch funding right now. Again, Binary Star Games, and you can find the itch at selkie.itch.io, or you can just search Celestial Bodies itch in Google, and that's how you'll find it. All right, let's pop back over to Kickstarter real quick, and then we'll go to a Backerkit one. So this one we don't need to talk about a whole lot because we've already talked about it. This is Orbital Blues Afterburn. It still has 3 days left to go. It's funded for $92,942 on Kickstarter. This is the first big wave expansion for Orbital Blues, which is put up by Soul Muppet. We have a whole episode just a couple episodes ago where we have Sam Sleeney and Zach Jelly Muppet from Soul Muppet on to talk about this and really break it all down. So there's not a whole lot we need to say about this except go check out that episode. But basically, this is a new expansion to the beloved Orbital Blues game, which is fantastic. It's Sad Space Cowboys. It's Cowboy Bebop. It's Firefly. It's all that stuff, and it's built on a really great D6 system that was pioneered in Best Left Buried and then adapted in Orbital Blues in a fun way. Like, you level up by being sad. It's fucking fantastic, and it's really cool. So, and the other great thing about the Afterburn Kickstarter is, aside from getting a bunch of cool stuff like adventures and a VHS case, you know, they are reprinting pretty much everything from the original Orbital Blues Kickstarter. So you can get the original book, you can get all the original stuff. So if you didn't get it before, you can get it now. I don't think I'm pretty positive they're not doing the night cover for the Kickstarter, but I think they did back to reprint the original they have the original cassette as an option, a new cassette as an option from Behold, the artist. You can find them on Bandcamp. And I think even Chris Bassett's coming back to do another cassette of music for that because of all the stretch goals that are on Reach. So this is a really great one. Like I said, we had them on the show just a little bit ago, just a couple episodes. And then we did an AP right after where we actually played some Orbital Blues here on stream with Josh Stefanski, myself, Hunter, and Marco Serrano of Spicy Tuna. So definitely go check that out if you want to get a little bit more in depth. So we don't have to go through this one too much, but you definitely want to back Orbital Blues Afterburn. Let's hop over to a Backerkit project. This is Deathmatch Island from Evil Hat Games. This is another one that is already funded. It had a $30,000 goal and is back for $138,846 already for 2,667 backers, and it has 58 hours left. So maybe 2 days. So by the time I get this out, it might still be up. But Deathmatch Island is a fast-paced game about a deadly game show on a mysterious island chain. This is from Evil Hat Games. So this is Backerkit. It's an extremely similar interface to Kickstarter. I think I don't like this huge white space over here. It's like a quarter of the page is just blank, empty space that Backerkit does not utilize extremely well. Kickstarter has the tiers on the side to take up that space. This is just empty space. Backerkit, you should fill that space with better stuff, or allow the stuff underneath to fill more of that page. But anyway, so Deathmatch Island. This is another one that says every backer gets instant access to the fully playable text complete prototype PDF of the game. Like, as soon as you back it, you get the PDF so you can try it out. That's fucking fantastic. That's a really cool thing to have right off the bat. And it really plays into this kind of like very what was that really popular show on Netflix? Squid Games. That's immediately what I was reminded of. But the cover is absolutely stunning, where there's this I think it's like a burning vehicle with smoke coming off on this kind of sunset background. The style of it is absolutely gorgeous. I love how crisp and clean it is. The logo is neat. It's a circle, and it's got half of a lined globe and half of a skull. It's really, really interesting. So little blurbs here at the top. Congratulations, competitor 359. You've been selected to participate in Deathmatch Island. Winning will mean fame, freedom, and unlimited wealth. You may be experiencing some confusion and memory loss. This is normal following redacted. It is important that you do not panic. I love that. I love the flavor right off the bat. Deathmatch Island is a fast-paced role-playing game about a deadly game show set on a chain of mysterious islands. Armed only with their hazy memories and matching uniforms, the players compete in challenges to satisfy the demands of production. If you're a Squid Game, Survivor, Lost, Battle Royale, Control, The Hunger Games, Corporate Dystopia, or Messed Up Reality TV fan, you're going to enjoy Deathmatch Island. There's some pictures of the layout inside. I love how crisp and clean the layout is. So it seems like the overriding colors of all this are like a vaguely off-white, not quite an eggshell, but just like it's white, but not, bright white, orange and black. Clean, really love it. Pops without being too much. It looks really fantastic. Deathmatch Island promotes fast, flexible gameplay with a striking design by Tim Dene, based on the Paragon system by Sean Nittner, Aegon, and John Harper. Aegon, Blades in the Dark, Lady Blackbird, Lasers and Feelings. So it uses the Paragon system from Sean and John Harper. John Harper makes great stuff. We weren't a huge fan of the Blades in the Dark book, but Lasers and Feelings is great, and Forged in the Dark is really fantastic. It's got an example of a character sheet here, which is cool. It goes through the conflict resolution mechanisms right here on the page. It's got an example of the map, which again, really is pretty much just black, whites, and orange. I love the consistency of the graphic design throughout. I really love the color choice. It looks really, really nice, and they're very clearly doing a book with a little bit of like as if it was in world, you know. So there's a lot of things addressed to the player. It reminds me of the way that Triangle Agency wrote up their book. So it looks really, really cool. So yeah. And as far as what you can get with the pledge levels, there are a lot of pledge levels. PDF is $15. There's a Roll20 module. Use Foundry, come on. $30. Hardcover and PDF is only $30, which is really great. That's relatively inexpensive currently in this economy for a nice hardcover book. So that's good to see. And it only, there's a list of people, places it ships to. I assume that's just the distribution partners. USA, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Someone has to help me on IE and NO. Not sure what those are. I feel dumb not knowing. But yeah, blah, blah, blah. Limited edition and PDF is $45. Retailer tier for $60. Survival kit is $95. And in the survival kit, you get the limited edition with the alt cover and in papers, 2 ribbons. It will not be printed after this campaign. So if you want the limited edition alt cover version, this is definitely how you want to get it. It looks like it's more of a manual cover with redacted stuff on it, which looks really neat, but you get a lot more stuff with it. You get the hardcover edition, you get folded printed maps, motivation cards, in-game handouts, island booklets, production guidance booklet, competitor booklet, cast pages, welcome letter, diagrams. I mean, it keeps going. It's a fat stack of stuff. And then there's a production bundle, which is $150, which gives you pretty much fucking everything. So that's really cool. Clearly that's what I backed. I want all of this. It looks really great. Like I said, the design on it throughout, good fucking job. It looks stunning. The game system sounds really, really great. And the idea of it is cool. And there's already an AP to watch, which is fantastic. So that is Deathmatch Island. Definitely check out the page for a little bit more about some of the people that are involved in the process, and it looks like they've already met most of their stretch goals, so that's really cool to see. So Deathmatch Island, check it out on Backerkit. I'm sure you can just search Deathmatch Island /Backerkit. Also, I'll put, this will be a long list at the end where I'll put the links to all of these in the podcast and in the YouTube page. All right, we already did that one. Let's hop back to Kickstarter real quick. This is the fun one. So, Kickstarter, this is Moonlight on Roseville Beach, a queer tabletop RPG, the original game of disco and cosmic horror, back on Kickstarter. So, this is cool. I have this in regular and hardback already. This is great. This is from R. Rook Studio. It has 5 days to go. It's got over $9,000 on a $4,000 goal with 192 backers, which is cool to see. So, do I have it in hardback already? Is it in hardback already? I don't know. I own it. It's cool. So queer pulp meets cosmic horror. It's 1979, and you're spending the summer working in Roseville Beach, the queerest little town on Rose Island. You might have come here looking for an escape, some fun, a little extra money, or even love, but now people are seeing phantasms, strange animals, and stranger old gods. Wander the woods, mysterious monoliths appear randomly, and strange music is coming from somewhere. Why can you see my cursor? I was positive that well, give me a second. Suddenly had some technical difficulties. That was weird. So created by Richard, I'm gonna say it's Ruane. I'm gonna say Rune, with art direction from Die Sugars. Gotta love Die Sugars. Every time you see a really gorgeous looking project, their name might be on it. So this is an any winning tabletop RPG, funded in November of 2021, released in 2023. There is a series of zines for it already. And as I said, it is a rules light horror RPG about a small, predominantly queer summertime community in the summer of 1979. The game is a GM, 3 to 5 players, and requires a handful of 6-sided dice, which are not included. The art is really beautiful. I love this style. It's definitely of the time, especially if you look at the cover with the two people on it. It's got that. It's a very like pulp magazine art style, which is absolutely stunning. I'm trying to see if it lists who did the art. Regardless, it's really great. So this project already exists. It's already out there in the world. What they're funding now is hardbacks. Maybe I don't have a hardback. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just have. No, I must not. So this is funding a hardback. As well as some other stuff, like there's an actual play that's already funded because it's sponsored for Plus One EXP. They're funding for actual plays and extra adventures and stuff. There's add-ons for the zines that are already out there. Art cards, t-shirts. I went all the way and got a t-shirt. There's some APs that are already here. And fulfillment is with Plus One EXP. For hardbacks, souvenirs, and classic paperbacks, and Space Penguin Inc., who was just on the show yesterday, fulfilling zines and add-ons. So they obviously have some people that know what they're doing to get that out to you. So that's nice. You don't have to worry about that. It's interesting that they're splitting the distribution up across both of them. But yeah, Rook Studio does a lot of really, really great stuff. This is for those that didn't have a chance to get this stuff previously, and if you want the game in hardback, which I mean, I'm always going to want the game in hardback. I'm going to back for that. So, yeah, definitely want to check that out. This, again, is Moonlight on Roseville Beach. Again, links will be in chat later. Let's cut this one out. That's such a big one. Don't really need it. This is an interesting one. This is another one from Backerkit. This is Star-Crossed: Love Letters. This is from Bully Pulpit Games. This is another game that's already funded. I should really hit some ones that aren't funded because I don't want to burn out before I stop talking. So $9,000 on a $5,000 goal already. It just dropped. It's got 25 days left, 367 backers already. And so Star-Crossed is back. This lovingly illustrated book is full of characters, settings, and new ways to play that will help you enrich and enhance your sessions of the 2-player tower-based game of Forbidden Love. A lot of these have videos I'm not playing because I don't want to. So what is Star-Crossed? Star-Crossed is a 2-player game about really, really wanting to when you really, really can't. In Star-Crossed, you and your fellow player craft characters who are powerfully attracted to each other, but have a compelling reason not to act on their feelings. Watch the attraction between them grow as you play out scenes, taking turns describing what your character says and does. When a character does something that could increase that attraction, you pull a brick from an increasingly shaky Jenga tower and place it on top. If the tower falls, your character acts on their feelings. So, really neat. I feel like I listened to some podcast episodes about this, and I'm sorry if the creator actually ends up watching this for not knowing a little bit more about this. But and I hope I'm talking about the right thing. But I feel like there was like this like spy versus spy situation where like you're not allowed to touch, you're not allowed to do stuff, but you're really into each other. And I thought that was just a really cool thing to do. And it's a really cool system in place, especially between two people. Playing Star-Crossed, it says, feels like being pulled in two directions at once, when your head and heart are telling you two different things, or when what you want and what you believe in are impossible to reconcile. The game is simple, quick, and filled with delicious moments of excitement, tension, and occasional heartbreak. I could be wrong, but I feel like the art, if it's not the same artist, is very similar to... oh my god, why am I blanking on... the name of the game. Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Same company, so it's probably the same artist. It reminds me a lot of that. Gives me the same vibe a bit too. So this Love Letters is a supplement for Starcrossed, full of beautiful illustrations and, et cetera, et cetera. All new illustrations from a bunch of people. Names are listed on the page. And I believe why support Love Letters? Because you're a Starcross fan, because it's cool or whatever. So the reward levels that you're talking about. So you can get the digital version of just the expansion, which is Love Letters for $12. You can get the print and digital for $15. You can get Starcrossed plus Love Letters digital for $20. You can get Starcrossed plus Love Letters print and digital for $40. Then there's a $45 retail bundle and a $120 retailer bundle. And then there's a $500 distinguished backer of refined taste, if that even still is around. Basically, it's the get everything and do like custom stuff with the designer stuff, which is cool. I think it might be gone already though when I backed this. And then there's add-ons for bits and pieces as well. A great list of people associated with it. And damn, there's some really good people contributors for this. Kieran Gillen, if you know Die, like that's huge. Banana Chan has done some really fantastic things. I mean, everyone on here is really, really great. But those are two names that immediately jumped out to me because I know them more than I think I know a lot of these people. But there's a lot of contributors to this. And the game looks really, really neat. Gosh, Jason Morningstar's on here too. There's just a lot going on here. Well, I mean, it's EVOT. But yeah, so this looks fun. It's a 2-player game, especially for those who might be into TTRPGs with their partner. This would be beyond perfect. But for anyone in general, this one looks really neat. So check it out. Once again, this is Starcrossed Love Letters. It is an expansion to Starcrossed, and you can get both when you back this. So go back it. Let's hop over to another itch one. This is one we're going to be talking about a little bit more on the show. And it's been itch funding for a while. I think its itch funding goals, it was 3 months long. So it's wrapping up, I believe, at the end of November. So we're going to be talking about it soon. But this is Planet Fist. So for those who backed Fist or didn't back Fist is a fucking fantastic game from Claymore. I have the original one, I have the Ultra Edition one, I have an Ultra Edition like press copy that Claymore sent us. Great person, definitely worth supporting their things for. And this is Planet Fist, which I personally love this game so much. It speaks directly to what I like about tabletop role-playing games. This is a compatible with Fist game. I love it says compatible with this kind of. Basically, it uses the very, very, very core mechanic of Fist and turns it into not necessarily, it's not a skirmish game, it's a tactical RPG, which I absolutely love. Anyone that backed like Hellpiercers from Sandy Pug or checked out a lot of the stuff from Sandro AD, this is a game I can't wait to talk about this on stream. But it's got a $3,000 funding goal right now. It's at 2,792. I know I had talked with Jess a little bit, Jess Levine, the creator. Now this is Jumpgate Games, but they we chatted a little bit about this, but this is it says it's a PBTA narrative. We're talking about Apocalypse World today. We'll get into what PBTA means, but this is basically a 2d6 mixed success tactical war game in the world of Fist, kind of. Actually, that's the part that's not really at all. In using some of the mechanics of Fist, but turns it into like a space war combat game. Let me actually read what it says so you understand it a little bit more. So Planet Fist is a PBTA narrative war game of satirical sci-fi skirmish role-playing or storytelling, and a hack of Claymore's Fist and winner of the Substance Award in the Fist Ultra Jam. It's a 60-page, 8.5 by 11 total conversion. You don't need Fist to play. And it's been featured in Dicebreaker and Gnome Stew. It's running from September 1st to November 30th. And what is Planet Fist? It is inspired by Starship Troopers, Battlefield Bad Company, and most of all by Planet Side 2. I don't know anything about PlanetSide 2, so I want to check that out. But 3 principles guide it. Death is life, shootouts are stories, and fiction first. So it is a fiction first narrative war game using a 2d6 system. You couldn't write something that is more exactly in my mechanical wheelhouse. So the second I heard about this, I fell in love with it, reached out to Jess, said, hey, let's talk about this. So we are gonna be having this game for review here on the show on the 19th, I believe it is. So really excited to talk about it. But check it out. Again, it's funding right now. So if you buy it right now, you get it right now, and it's only $8, which is crazy. I really hope that this goes on to become print, like do a whole thing. I want more of this. I want it in my hands. I want more than just a PDF. I would be really excited to see this. And jumping on the back of Claymore, like how good Fist did on Kickstarter, I think this would blow up just as much. So yeah, so there's community copies, there's multiple tiers, including acknowledgements and naming a player and things like that. There are demos that you can download, so you can check out how it is right now. But again, for $8, I obviously backed this and got it. It's fantastic. It's super clean. It's built with the same layout as Fist. It mimics it, you know, almost one for one, but really takes the game into a completely different direction, which is really, really fun and interesting. So you definitely want to check out Planet Fist by Jump Gate Games on itch. Really, really fantastic. And then and the creators also put out other stuff too. I literally have one thing next to me. This is I Have the High Ground, a collaborative game. I went full bore on it. Got the whole shebang with this bag and everything, which I love having the bag, but I can't take it out of the bag because it's such a cool bag, so I can't put it on a shelf. And then that's why it's sitting next to me. But this is really cool. This is a great zine, collaborative 2-player dueling game of banter, posturing, and capes. This is cool. Pretty sure it won awards. This comes with wooden dice and tokens and stuff too. So Jess has made some really, really awesome stuff already. Great creator, and this just continues to expand their catalog of awesome stuff that they've made. So highly, highly, highly worth backing. And again, I hope that this is not the end of the Planet Fist journey, and I hope that I can eventually be holding this in my hand. So we'll see what happens with that. I think that's all the ones I have on itch. Let's hop back to Backerkit. Let's jump up to, oh well, I mean, I gotta talk about this, and then I'll start going from the top instead of the bottom so that we can look at ones that aren't funded yet. But my goodness, Abyss of Hallucinations Collected Edition. Max Moon has got to be one of the just best people in the entire world. Friend of the show, friend to myself personally, insane, amazing creator, has put out some amazing stuff. For as long as I've known Max, I have been sitting on my phone waiting for Kickstarter to drop so I can be backer number one, because Max is all about doing small run, handmade, just rare stuff, things that you won't get ever again. Maybe new editions of, but not the older stuff. And my God, if that doesn't speak directly to my collector soul. So for example, I have a whole Max Moon shelf over here. Let's run through a couple of those things real quick. This right here is 12 Years, which is one of my favorite games of all time, a game that Max put out. This is actually the pre-Kickstarter prototype copy of 12 Years. It's got an original like draft stamp on the back of what the Kickstarter, of what the zine eventually looks like. This is like the original, before there was even a logo, prototype, unplay tested one of these in the world. I have that. This is a hardcover of 12 years that Max made by hand, hand-bound, handmade. And there's only 2 of this version that exist in the entire world. Because if you look inside, it says right there, for those that can see it, if it unblurs or if it zooms, this is the weekly scroll edition of 2. Right? So there's only 2 of this hardback, cloth-bound gold and black editions in the world. I have one and Hunter has one. This, speaking of Abyss of Hallucinations, is a handmade 1 of 1 from the last Kickstarter. This is the Book of Lies, hand-bound, hand put together, from Max. Again, the attention to detail, the craft, and the desire to put quality writing inside quality, like, books, like that they fucking hand make, is insane to me. And again, the fact that they're one of the most wonderful people in the world helps a ton. And I just received this. This will be the first time that, and the last time anyone of you guys will ever see this. They just dropped the Demon Lord expansion, and there was a 1 of 1 hand-bound, handmade, hand everything of the Demon Lord expansion. And this is that. Gold on the front, hand-bound leather. Look at the gold speckling on the edge of these red pages. No, the Book of Lies that I just showed is Aleister Crowley's Book of Lies, just reprinted by Max. But look, the red Demon Lord pages on the inside. So yeah, very, very, very happy to have this. This is what I'm talking about as far as Max and the quality of the stuff that they produce. So it's just this whole top shelf right here that you guys can't see, that's all Max. In there I also have the 1 of 1 black on black Fairyland that they put out, because I was back number 1 for that. I'm proud of this. And one of the biggest reasons I'm proud of it is because Max is such a good person and a good friend. So it makes me really proud to have these, like, 1 of 1 that I know that they put so much effort, time, and love into what they're making. And this is a culmination of Abyss of Hallucinations. So this is not only Abyss of Hallucinations 3, which is an occult-inspired Merkborg setting built on the nihilistic psychedelia of Aleister Crowley's Book of Lies. This is also a combined edition of everything. And as far as the Kickstarter page goes, this is what you do with the Kickstarter page for those out there. Like, I can tell you right now, I know projects that have failed because their Kickstarter pages sucked. I could name 10 right now off the top of my head that I know that if they had a better Kickstarter page, they would have funded. So look at these successful Kickstarter pages. One of the very first things you want to do is show people what they get. One of the very first things on here is a picture of everything that you can get from this campaign right off the bat. And you go, wait, what the fuck is that? Let me read through to find out what that is, right? So Abyss of Hallucinations is an occult-inspired Merkborg setting built upon the nihilistic psychedelia of Aleister Crowley's Book of Lies. The campaign adds the 3rd and final volume to the zine collection and unifies the triad in a deluxe hardcover compilation, giving the Abyss the decadent glory it deserves. Okay, so this is not just number 3 in the series, it is also a hardbound version of all 3 together. All right, you get a massive list of stuff that I'm not going to go through. If you're seeing it, maps, hex crawling stuff, NPCs, magic things, everything like crazy. There's a great graphic here where it actually folds out to what the zine's going to look like, which is really, really stunning. The slipcase set of all 3, it contains Abyss of Hallucinations Collected and the Book of Lies and a 5-panel GM screen in a slipcase. And it's this gorgeous white with red and gold embossing and foiling and everything on it. It's God, it's so gorgeous, and it is the correct end place for all of this. Because I know when Abyss first came out and 12 Years first came out, I don't think how much I don't think the production level was there for Max. I want to say like he was a smaller creator, but because of the like loving community that he's built, and the fans that he's made, they're able to now put something out of this quality on this scale. The scale is what I was talking about more than anything, because everything they did before, they were literally doing every single zine by hand. And I remember like messages about his fingers bleeding trying to get all of the books made. But this is through Exalted, or with Exalted, which is jumped in on. I don't think they've been with all the Abyss, but I know they're with the last one. And yeah, I'm super excited for this project. So yeah, there's the collected edition, which again, hardback, foiling, gorgeous, stunning. It's insane. And then there's a Book of Lies edition. There's a GM screen. There's the Volume 3 zine, which continues with the pink, white and gold covers. The pictures will never do the justice for the zine in hand. The white has this shimmer to it, and it's imprinted over top of the pink. It's absolutely stunning. And then there's also the Cthulhugans tape. Cthulhugans is a music project that Max has that does some tapes from the previous projects, like Fairland had a Cthulhugans tape. This one looks fantastic, obviously. You can find, I think you can get that now. I think I even have that now in my Bandcamp. You can get a t-shirt. It comes with stickers. There's the zines versus the book and the collected edition, so you can get either of those. But one of the ones I want to talk about, so all the tiers, basically, to run through the tiers, you got the... is the first tier? Yeah. So the first tier is called the Third Triad. You get the zine, you get the Player's Guide zine, you get the soundtrack, and you get stretch goals. And that's $35. For $50, you get Thought That Was Not, digital only. So you get a bunch of stuff all digital. There's a $70 Liber Abyssus, which is the deluxe Abyss of Hallucinations collected edition. The Player's Guide, the soundtrack, and everything. There's the Holy, the and Not, 3 and Not, which is the slipcase and everything. There's the One, the Mini, and All, which is pretty much everything. There's and that is at $180. There's a $580 tier, the Mother of Abominations. It is original signed artwork. And then there is a $980 tier, which is a GM screen artwork original. I doubt those are even still available. Yeah, the Mother of Abominations one is gone. The GM one is still available, one of one. And then there is the $1,130. It's just called VVVV. V period V period V period V period V period. This is everything. Plus the Abyss of Hallucinations collected VVVVV edition. So it's 5 V's, which is 5 in Roman numerals. And what is that, do you ask? Did Max? Oh, and look at that. Look here at the bottom, the weekly scroll featuring an interview with Max Moon about Abyss of Hallucinations, episode 31. Crazy that we're right there on the page. Also some talks with Vintage RPG and Unwinnable Funeral Rites. But the VVVVV edition, let me scroll back up and we'll talk about that a little bit more. I better get the cursed edition too. So basically the VVVVV edition, there's only 5 copies of these. Custom hand engraved with brass tools with gold leaf on the spine and blind tooling on the cover. This is from Brian Beadler, who is a book craftsman. So these are from a bespoke book craftsman, a master book crafter. I think Max even talked about there being like specialized tools being made to do these. There's only going to be 5 copies that exist in the world of this, and they are, like I said, they start at $11,030. I think there's more that you can pay to have that done up, but it's hand leather tooled and everything. There are only 2 of those left, and you'll never guess at what tier I backed. So anyway, so this is Abyss of Hallucinations Collected Edition. Back it. It is fantastic. Max is fantastic, and then back all of Max's other stuff. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back, and we'll finish this out. Okay, I am back. Let's do some projects that haven't quite funded yet or are close, or some newer ones, and then we will kind of cruise through some other ones that we've already chatted about a little bit. So let's go with this right here. So this one looks really neat. This is Strange God from S. Murphy. I believe it's Sean Murphy. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. Yeah. So paranormal agents dealing with the supernatural creatures and phenomena. I love the graphic there. Really cool, like banners with some nice Luciferian symbolism and stuff. Really great. This is at $830 of an $1,177 goal. It's got 17 days to go on 35 backers. This one looks really, really neat. Definitely needs a little bit more hype. I will say right off the bat with the Kickstarter page, there's very, very little art on the Kickstarter page. I would highly recommend adding more art. Whether we like it or not, human beings like art. They really enjoy it. They like to see that it's going to look good. I have backed games that have very little art in it that barely fund, and the games are fantastic. And I have backed games that have beautiful art in it, and the games are sitting on my fucking shelf. So art sells books, and art gets people to back Kickstarters. So the fact that the graphic at the top just says Strange Squad, the Kickstarter on it, obvious, I think people are going to bounce off that already. And although it says the game really big, I love that that's there. But farther down, it has the books and then pictures of all the books in it. I'd have thrown that graphic way up at the top. And if there is already cover art for the book, man, that piece should be big and bold somewhere on here. But outside of the graphics for the books here, there's not a single piece of art on the Kickstarter page. I highly recommend putting art on the Kickstarter page. People are, I'm going to say people are dumb, but we like shiny, bright things. So give us shiny, bright things. Put the beautiful art that you have on the cover in the Kickstarter page. Get people to invested, and then talk about the game. So, but regardless, I mean, you get me with the black, the red, and the evil looking symbols. That pulls me in. So the game, Strange Squad, members of the Agency of Aberrant Phenomena seek to solve conflicts involving aberrants or abes, unnatural creatures and phenomena that defy conventional understanding. They work to uphold the Veil, a layer of secrecy that keeps the public from learning about these fragments of unreality for their sake and ours. Sounds very like Hellboyish, you know what I mean? In play, Strange Squad is a paranormal investigative game where the agents enter a situation where an aberrant is threatening the Veil and must make decisions on how to deal with it. I love that. Sounds fucking awesome. Core features is a robust character creation system that enables you to create any kind of agent you can think of, an easy to manage time mechanic that keeps assignments from stagnating. The longer a mission goes on, the more complicated things become as the world moves in the background. And then the stress system, an alternative to the traditional sanity mechanic that is often found within investigative supernatural games. Listen, I love insanity and all that kind of stuff. But you know, it's really nice not to use like the DSM-5 or whatever we're on now to put insanity in your games. Make people do weird stuff and be weird. Don't model insanity after real life a mental illness. And this sounds like a really great way to do that, a stress mechanic as opposed to a sanity or insane mechanic. So looks really neat. It says, want to take a peek at the game before you pledge? Check out the core rules here. You know where that should have been? Way at the top. So that people can be like, oh, cool, there's a quick start. So throw the cover art way at the top. Say that there's a quick start. Give a picture of everything that they're going to get. And then do all of this other stuff. There's a breakdown here of, it says each book is a beautiful, high quality, staple bound booklet. They've been laid out by S. Murphy in a clear, elegant, information focused design. All of the books have already been fully written and edited and only need to go through minor proofing. Love that. Anyone that puts out a Kickstarter, the Kickstarters that have taken the longest and failed the most are ones that have barely anything written. And then right after, and then something's going to come up in your life and this is going to take a back burner and you're going to piss off. There's big companies and small people out there that I will not back anymore for that exact reason, because I'm tired of hearing the number of times that you hear nothing for 4 or 5, 6 months. And then you get that inevitable email that says, oh, I've been dreading writing this email. I'm sorry to tell you that I have had this massive life event happen. And that's awful. I'm sorry that those things happen, but that is why it is much better to have most of your project done before you go into it. Because the problem is that as soon as something happens and you start to get behind, a lot of people start to feel buried by it, and it just downward spirals into a point where they feel like they can't do anything at all. And they even get to a point where they stop updating people or disappear entirely, which has happened numerous times. So personally, I am much more likely to fund a project where at least most of the writing is done and it might just need layout or proofing and stuff like that, than people that are like, I've seen where it's like, here's our timeline. We're going to finish writing by the end of next year. Come on. I'll wait for it to hit the stores. So it's really cool that this project has it already done and it just needs a little bit of proofing. So there are a number of books. There is Strange Squad, The Core Rules, contains everything you need to play the game. There is Buried in the Quagmire, which is a starter adventure. There is Anti-Reality Dump Site, which is an adventure concerning an abandoned agency site. And then there's Code V, which is a post-mortality adventure. So basically what you get is the core book and 3 adventures. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that they're all going to be different zines with different covers and stuff like that. I mean, depending on how big the core rules are, though, like, this could have been just two books would have been cool. I know that's it's more logistics I think to try to put together like a hardback than it is to maybe do zines. I do love that there's 3 different covers to them. It's an interesting choice to have the core rules game and then 3 separate zines in it. I mean, obviously I back for it. But when you look at some of the names associated with it too, you got Sean Murphy himself, you got Christian Sorrell, I used to have Meat Castle stickers like right there. Well, I must have moved them. Oh, here they are. We love us some Meat Castle here on the show. So if Christian Sorrell's associated with the project, you know it's good. Especially if they're doing developing some dev editing on it. So yeah, editing on the core rules. And they did Anti-Reality Dump Site. Maybe that's why, because the adventures are written by 3 different people with different covers and stuff. Clearly that's what's going on here. Oh, and Claymore did the cover and index art in the core rules. So check out Fist. I mean, there's so many great names attached to this project. This project should be bigger than it is. I don't remember seeing a lot of stuff on this project prior to the project dropping. I know that I had talked to Sean very briefly about spotlighting this project, which we are now spotlighting the project. But I do think that the page could be tweaked a little bit to encourage more backers. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It looks like a really, really fantastic project. I backed it. Let's talk about the tiers. You got the rookie tier, which is just digital copies of the books, the core of everything. Then you got the field agent, which is physical copies of Strange Squad and Buried in the Quagmire. You got the handler. And that is at 35 New Zealand dollars, which is 21 American dollars. You got the handler at 55 New Zealand dollars, which is 33 American dollars. And that's when you get the book and the Buried in Quagmire and Anti-Reality Dump Site and Code V. And then at 120 New Zealand dollars or $71, you get everything, as well as a hand embroidered Strange Squad patch. So, I mean, that's what I backed. Because New Zealand dollars are way less than American dollars. So for 120 New Zealand dollars, it's only $70 to get all 4 books and a patch. I'll take that. I'm sure shipping will be, I don't know. We'll see what shipping looks like. UK, EU, row, 19 New Zealand, 24 New Zealand, 32 New Zealand. So, and handled by Peregrine Coast. Plus, they know what they're doing. So, it looks like a really cool project. I would definitely check this out. Especially if Christian Sorrell is involved in it, you know it's going to be good. So really, really neat. But this is what I would call the definition of like maybe a slightly snazzed up Kickstarter page would have helped get this funded a little bit more. But with 17 days to go, and they're only about $300-ish away from the goal, I really I can see this getting funded. And I backed this already. It sounds really neat, and I'm excited to see more of what happens with it. What else we got here? Oh, this one just dropped. I'm going to go through some of these a little bit quicker now. So this is the Wassailing of Claus Manor, a horrific holiday tabletop role-playing game by the award-winning team of Mike Martins, Brian Sago, and Michael Van Vliet. So this is at $3,400 on a $5,000 goal, 75 backers with 19 days to go. Just recently dropped. This is being put out with +1 EXP with Tony Vicenda. I believe, if I'm not wrong, that they're primarily doing distribution. Yeah, product management, graphic design support, handling and fulfillment is all through Tony from +1. Who recently also started the RPG Zine Club. Definitely check that out. So what is this that we're looking at? This is a Christmas that almost wasn't. Amid foreboding war and festering industry, the North Pole reaches a breaking point. A lavish lifestyle and the demands of an exploding world population have pushed the inhabitants of Claus Manor to embrace dark and arcane forms of the holiday spirit. All too quickly, the manor is becoming the epicenter of bedlam. Unbeknownst to most of our world's inhabitants, there might never have been Christmas again if not for the patience and cunning of the Claus family's servant staff, unsung valets of joy, and gemütlichkeit. In the thick of winter. And so here you are, days before Christmas, and all through the house, problems are stirring and strange things are roused. Love that. That's some great writing right there. So, again, nice piece of art at the top, some really big, bold writing, picture of the book and what you're going to get right there. Nice graphic with art all the way through, breakdown of what it's like. A really great graphic of what you're going to get. This is a well put together Kickstarter page. So this is what I'm talking about compared to the last one. So visually, keep people moving forward through the art on a page. So what is this? It's a tabletop role-playing game for 2 to 6 players where you take on the role of mortal servant staff to the immortal Claus family at the dawn of the 20th century, a time of upheaval across the world. Santa toys with dark summoning to hasten delivery capabilities. Lady Claus operates a secret slaughterhouse, packaging magical meat. Santa's brother rekindles an ancient war between humanity and elvendom, and his children merge their legendary exploits with the Yuletide myth as they vie for prominence. Really neat. It's built on Trophy Dark, one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love it. I do like it better than Trophy Gold. Trophy Dark is better. I like it better. The Wassailing escalates these scenarios and more based on card draws and the staff's own tribulations and politicking. So, Horror Christmas, built on Trophy Dark, where you are the servants in the house of the Clauses who are toying with the dark and the arcane. That sounds fun as fuck to me. I hate Christmas personally, so if I'm gonna do it, let's do Evil Christmas. The people involved with it: Mike Martins, Brian Sago, Michael Van Fleet, Tony Vicinda. They've all done contributions to Trophy, Brindlewood Bay, Butter Princess, Sunken, Devil, Aim for Me, Die, Grave Robber, Die, Public Access, Silt Versus, and then obviously +1 EXP, which you know +1 EXP. So really interesting game here. Excited to get it. This is interesting, and this is an interesting way to do this, because when you compare, so this is the Christmas adventure as we go into the Christmas season. So you're not, I don't think you're going to get this adventure by Christmas. That would be insane. I'm going to scroll down to see what the timeline looks like. Design, timeline, play testing, final writing, final art and layout. See, they're at the point where it's already play tested, designed, and in final layout. That's what I'm talking about. That's where you should be when you drop a project. No way. Okay, so this is what the timeline says. Funding finishes December 1st, digital release December 3rd, Backerkit opens December 8th, printing by December 15th, receive the prints by New Year's Day. No, they receive the prints by New Year's Day. Backerkit closes January 3rd. It's shipped January 6th. And we should get it kind of in January. That's cool. If you started in October around Christmas time, I think it'd be a little different. This is what I'm talking about, like starting a project around the holidays. So it's interesting. Like, I know there's some projects that came out for Halloween, but they did it in the summer so that it would be delivered by Halloween. But I feel like it, and I love the idea behind that you would make sure that they have the game to play on Halloween. But I think backer brains don't work smart that way. That actually, like, putting the project out around Halloween will get people more in the spirit of Halloween. So they'll get it delivered, obviously, maybe 6 months later. But if you want more backers backing, I think you do it when the season comes. And even though, to me, Christmas season doesn't start until December 1st, there ain't no fucking trees in this house. This is around Christmas season for people. So this dropping the beginning of November is great. It would be awesome if this actually dropped by Christmas, but the fact that it'll drop within a month of Christmas is really, really neat. People will still be in the Christmas spirit. Whatever. People will still have their trees up by the time this gets delivered, if it goes to print the way it sounds. Anyway, so getting into the more of what's going on as far as tiers and everything like that. So there is a benevolent belief, which is just give them money. There's digital delights, $15, you get the PDF. $30, you get a physical copy. $45, you get PDF, the book, and a set of family cards for Play Aid, and a special invitation at Claus Manor. And then there's a $130 creator caboodle, which is you get most of the games that I had just talked about. So you actually get where are we at? The creator caboodle. You get the heartfelt thanks, you get the PDF, you get a Claus family deck, you get the physical copy of the book, the invitations, and then you get a bunch of the games that the creators have written otherwise. Sunken, the Drowning Scriptures, the Sunken Zine, Butter Princess, Die Grave Rubber Die, and then you get Lord Klaus's Secret Stash Beard Bomb, clearly from Tony, and then Harrowing Holiday Soundtrack. So there's only 13 left because there's only 20 of those total. You'll never guess what I backed. So that's really cool. So basically, a horror Christmas adventure. Sounds really neat. Excited for that one. That needs some more funding, so let's get on that. Again, that is the Wassailing of Claus Manor. Let's talk about this one. Really excited for this. We recently went over Hell Knight from Gabriel Quiroga, and this is Sygil, the Mirrored Reality, an exciting card game about a secret arcane war set in Hell Knight's heavy metal biker universe. It's at $2,400 of a $5,000 goal on 44 backers with 30 days to go. So just about halfway. Definitely want to see more of this and this universe, so you should definitely back it. Hell Knight is fantastic. It's one of the highest rated games that we have done here on the show. Just really, really well done. And this is a card game built in that world. So technically not a tabletop role-playing game, but still associated with that world, and I would really like to see it happen. So Sygil, the Mirrored Reality, is a playing card game suitable for 2 to 5 players, in which you play part of dark sorcerers engaged in arcane war set in the 80s heavy metal biker universe of Hell Knight. There's a picture of one of the cards here. Love that. The page has a lot of art throughout, which is exactly what you want to see. Gosh, almost a little bit too much in here. So the standard Sygil Mirrored Reality deck has 66 poker-sized cards. They feature Psychopomps, an original mechanic that serves as an additional casting cost that must be performed theatrically by the player itself. Psychopomps are informed below the title of each card. Some of them are easy to do. Others demand a heavy toll and may require considerable effort from the player. This provides a lot of fun and bizarre moments as each sorcerer acts out the Psychopomp of their spells to cause havoc at the table. There's a YouTube video you can watch of that. It's an intro to Sygil the Mirrored Reality. And each card in your hand can be transformed into a sigil, which will produce the necessary focus to summon otherworldly beings and cast curses. So this looks really great. It's definitely a fourth wall breaking, like sorcerer arcane card battle game, which sounds really fucking cool. And there's an expansion that comes with part of this as well. So it looks, like I said, it looks really neat. And I'm just scrolling through to see more about what's going on. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, check out the reviews for previous games. Hell Knight by the Weekly Scroll. That's us. We did that not too long ago. Hell Knight, Warpland, and Neuro City are great. Definitely want to check out all the rest of their games. AI free, which is great. So what are the pledges here? So for $24, you get Beyond the Gates of Hell expansion, which is $24. So first tier is the expansion to the game, because the regular game is $26. And that's Sygil the Mirrored Reality core deck, which is, again, is $26. You can get Hell Knight for $35, or you can get the Gemini bundle, the core deck plus the expansion, for $48. Is that what I did? I don't remember what I did. I mean, I know I got both, but I don't remember if I did one and then did an add-on. So yeah, this one looks really neat. It definitely needs some more support. It's about halfway to its goal of $5,000. I know that like sometimes like card games they're harder to fund a little bit, but this one looks really neat. The art style looks really neat. If it's set in Hell Knight world, I'm super excited to play more of that. So you definitely want to check this out. And to get the regular deck and the Gemini bundle, and it's only $48. I mean, you know, why wouldn't you just get both? So it would make sense to just do that. And I'm sure there's more add-ons that can be done as well. So Sygil, the Mirrored Reality, definitely excited for that. Definitely hope that funds. So let's try to get that funded a little bit more. What else do we have here that this is one. We'll wrap up here in about 15 minutes, so some of these I'm gonna go through a little bit quicker. I said that 4 of them ago, and I'm still not going through any quicker, so that's just me and my ADHD. Goblin Mail, a third-party zine for Troika. This is from Evelyn Moreau. You know Evelyn Moreau. Her art, their art is fantastic. It's in a lot of stuff. They did a lot of stuff for like Sky Realms from Eco. Really, really cool stuff. This is a third-party zine for Troika. It's way funded. It's $6,445 on 1,811, which means it's probably not normal. Yeah, 2,500 Canadian. Can we get more Canadian creators? Because Canadian shipping to us is not that bad, and the Canadian dollar is worth less than ours, so we get stuff for cheap. So that would be great. But Goblin Mail. Goblin Mail is a Troika-compatible adventure about a chaotic post office run by goblins full of whimsy that's infested with gremlins and all sorts of freaky little creatures. Navigate through the chaotic work environment of goblin bureaucracy, and meet weird denizens from all over the spheres in search of your lost package. Unveil a mysterious conspiracy of the postal industry. Wait in line. Find lost packages of Eldritch potential, get beat up and robbed blind by mail bandits, fill a form of complaint, and finally retrieve what you came for. So there's a list of staff at the post office, a list of the contents, 12 room locations, 6 patrons to work for, gorgeous and whimsy illustrations by Evelyn Moreau. Again, Evelyn does really gorgeous, neat, cool art. Definitely, again, if you own a zine, in the TTRPG space, there's a good chance that her art might be in it. There's many flavorful tables, a bunch of new creatures, and then there's the zine itself. It's 30 to 40 pages with colored cover and black and white interior. Right at the end of the campaign, you get the plain text PDF. Love that. So you can get right and a map of the thing and a map of the post office. You can get right into playing. Stretch goals: 4K is interior cover print, 5K is more art, and 6K is increased contributor pay. I love when a stretch goal is people get paid more. Gotta love to see that. Evelyn Moreau is the illustrator. Sofia Ramos is a Brazilian writer and game designer. And by day, Luna P works as a writer and designer. And those are the three that are part of the project. So looks really neat. Again, I love when projects are already funded, are obviously already done. This is a fun, cute, whimsical adventure for Troika. Gotta love that. And it's almost reached, I think, all of the stretch goals already. It's passed all the stretch goals. It's already there. But it's cool. You should back it. Looks neat. Sounds like you'll get it pretty quickly. Really excited for that one. That one's cool. Here's one. Yeah, fantasy infrastructure and bureaucracy. Gotta love that. This one's really neat. This is Spectacle. Since we're on Troika, Spectacle, science, fantasy, gladiatorial mayhem for Troika. An all-in-one adventure setting, bestiary, and character collection for running games in an alien overlord's merciless fighting pit. This is at $3,034 on a $3,000 goal with 101 backers and 17 days to go. So this literally just funded. I saw it fund this morning. So this looks really, really neat. The graphic here on the front gives you some of the picture of the cover art, but not the entire picture of the cover art. I don't know. So again, I wish the picture of the cover art was displayed more prominently, especially right here at the top, as opposed to this part that says Spectacle. It should be the cover art right there, because that would really pull people in. The art is absolutely stunning throughout, so you don't get to see it super well, but it definitely has this very like golden age. Okay, I say golden age, but I know that there are ages in comics, so I'm not sure exactly which age: golden age, silver age, whatever. This old school, very comic style art that is absolutely stunning. So this has so many eyes. A sphere propels itself through. Okay. Spectacle is an all-in-one world-setting adventure hook and background compendium for Troika, inspired by classic comic book premise. Your PCs have been kidnapped by an insane alien overlord and forced into gladiatorial combat. Craft your character from a D66 table of unique backgrounds and prepare to step forth into battle against other PCs, sinister alien threats, and perhaps even the omnipresent Eye itself. Winning your freedom is only the beginning. So Spectacle is written by Seth Ian, with artwork by Mark Conway, editing by Luke Gearing, and layout by Tony Jaguar. I mean, come the fuck on. Like, that team of people there, and it's just funded today. Come on. Like, the cover art is fucking fantastic. Luke Gearing, everyone knows fucking Luke Gearing. Tony Jaguar does great work. This should definitely be bigger than it is. And then Die Sugars is running the project now, or it's under their name, but also I know did graphic design and stuff in this as well. So it's a 40-page zine, digest-sized zine. It's got 36 new backgrounds, 36 enemies, detailed rules for creating and running adventures on the living planet, random table generators for gladiator names, fight titles, random encounters, and more. And the Seed of Galactic Conquest. Back rewards, there's the Sclera tier. Everything's eye related. There's the Sclera tier. $10 is a PDF. Lids tier, $15 is a print copy along with a PDF. Cornea is $30. You get a deluxe Singer Stitched copy on higher grade paper with the included adventure by Luke Gearing, as well as the PDF and everything. There's the Arena Spectator, which is six copies. So that's the shop tier. And then there's the All Seeing Eye for $250. You get a deluxe printed copy of Spectacle, as well as a PDF and an original piece of framed art from Mark Conway. So really cool project. There are some stretch goals, but we'll see how far they get with that. There's an adventure at $4,500, stickers at $6,000, and then go beyond that. So fulfillment, PDFs are through drive-through, blah blah blah. But these will be printed by LFOSR, which haven't seen a lot from LFOSR recently. Really hope to see a lot more from them soon. And then distributed through Space Penguin. Space Penguin popping up everywhere because they're awesome. But that's a great crew right there. And it already lists the shipping cost for most, I'm sure, for the most part. Obviously things will change, but it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, even if you go all the way to the highest tier, it's only $12 or $24. So excited to see the higher quality zine put out by LFOSR, and obviously if Space Penguin's involved, you get that distribution nice and clean. So really cool project from Seth. Definitely go check that out right now. Spectacle Science Fantasy Gladiatorial Mayhem for Troika. Again, just Google Spectacle or click the links below. What else we got here? That's probably about it. I can maybe do... There's some... I mean, The Invisible Sun, Return of the Black Cube from Monty Cook Games. Yeah, I don't even need to say anything about that. It's back for like $1 bajillion, $500,000 already. I don't need to say shit about that. Do I have any other ones that are... Oh, well, I mean, obviously, there's this one, but you'll see more about this sooner than later. This is Forbidden Psalm, the End Times edition. Tabletop role-playing game. So this is the definitive edition of Forbidden Psalm from Will, and with, again, working with Space Penguin. With Jert to get this put out, but this is basically the Forbidden Psalm and the first book expansion put together into one definitive book, the End Times edition of said book. And again, it's not a second edition, it's definitive edition. But here's the thing. Pretty much right after this episode ends, I'm going to be dropping an episode, which is an interview with myself, Hunter, Will, and Jert. So the creator of the game and the person behind Space Penguin Inc. talking about all of this, going over all of it. So definitely just listen to that episode. But as far as this, basically you can get, there's a digital reward where you get there's an End Times edition of the book, there's a Warband book, and then there's the Collection of Death, which is all of the little expansions that have been put out. To Forbidden Psalm, all the Dead Festivals, Rotten Bits, Forbidden Wilderness, Dead Church, all those, all collected into one individual book too. So there's 3 total books you can get from this. So for £15, you can get just the digital everything. For $18, you can get all the PDFs, plus you get Doomsday. Add your name to the Doomsday book in the Forbidden Psalm End Times. At £20, you get the Collection of Death. $25, you get the physical softcover of the End Times. At $35, you get the physical softcover all in. There's too many fucking tiers. At $41, you get the physical hardcover basic, which will not be there. There will be some stock after, but they're not going to keep this in stock too much. £51, a hardcover all in. And then for £777, you get a lot. If it wasn't quite that high, I would have snagged it, but it's signed everything. It's 4 of everything. It's just, it's insane. So, highest, reasonable tier, is, £51 or $63, hardcover all in for everything. And then you get PDFs of everything. And then everything that, only comes in softcover, you get softcover for everything too. But anyway, as I said, check this out. When our episode drops, this episode 114, I'll be dropping that as soon as I get off here. I think that's pretty much it. Unless anyone has some things that I'm missing, that'll probably be the last one I really talk about, because everything else that I could talk about is already funded. It's like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a bunch of these. So, and there's only 1 or 2 that I haven't really looked at. Yeah. That's got 30 grand already on it. That's got 78 grand on it. Yeah, I don't even need to talk about some of these. So that's it. That's our Kickstarter roundup. Been thinking about doing the thing about getting back into this a little bit. We're definitely not going to talk about it every week. We already run long. I don't know how we used to do this for 45 minutes every week and not hit 3-hour episodes, but we used to. Maybe we just don't shut the fuck up now. But there's a good chance that I'll probably start doing this once a month. We'll just do a monthly, crowdfunding, project spotlight. And we'll just spend, instead of doing, 30 minutes at the beginning of every episode, we'll just spend an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes just going through cool projects dropped. I definitely wanted to do it right now though, because there are so fucking many cool projects that are going on, and a lot of really, really cool projects that are going to be dropping soon. I mean, we got Cairn 2E coming soon. I know Dolmenwood just finished. So for people that are really into kind of like the first wave of a lot of the early like OSR style games or really indie games, we're getting like a second wave of a lot of those. We're getting second edition of Cairn 2E. We're getting Dolmenwood, which I know isn't second edition OSE, but it's close enough. We're getting Mythic Bastionland, which is like pre Into the Odd. It's like the third Into the Odd, which is really cool. We're going to get a Liminal Horror Deluxe Edition. We're getting a Forbidden Psalm Deluxe Edition. I mean, there's so many cool stuff, that have dropped in the last month or two, and it's coming out in the next 6 months. That's really, really exciting to talk about. So we'll probably, like I said, get back into doing maybe like a monthly roundup. So we'll see if people are into it. We'll do that, and then maybe we'll reopen our like a submission form or whatever for projects, so we can add them to the list. But for those projects that aren't funded yet, definitely go check those out. Check out Sygil, the Mirrored Reality. Check out Strange Squad. Check out the Wassailing Spectacle just funded. But definitely check out the Wassailing of Claus Manor. That one looks really, really neat, except I hate Christmas. But that should hit its funding goal pretty soon, and it's neat that it's going to get I'm tired and I'm rambling, so I just need to shut the fuck up. That's where I'm at with that. That is the end. Definitely go back, like I said, all those ones that I just talked about, Sygil, Strange Squad especially, and Wassailing, the ones that aren't funded yet. So everyone out there, have a wonderful day. I will get this up probably tomorrow morning, and that way people can see it. So all of our socials are on our link tree /The Weekly Scroll, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.